Hello, my name is Mage, and welcome to Black and White Thinking, and to another review of the Eat, Bang, Kill tour, written by T. Franklin, art by Max Sarin. In this issue, issue 2, we follow Harley and Ivy as they turn up at Selina Kyle's door without an invitation and ask her to dog sit. Also, Batman shows up. Let's get into it, and if you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing. I think I might hit 1k this year, which has literally been my only YouTube goal, so I'm looking forward to retiring in 2022. Jokes aside, please give me a like if you like. Thanks again as always. So I reviewed the first issue back when it came out, well, a few weeks after because I'm lazy, just as this one is a few weeks late. Sorry about that. And I will link that somewhere here so you can catch up if you need to. This issue definitely dove headfirst into more plot stuff in comparison to the first. I think I personally liked the first a little more than the second, I'm not sure. This one still gives us plenty to talk about. Also, side note, I was adjusting my meds when I wrote the first review of this series, and while listening back, I sound like literally dead inside. This probably won't be any different, and I don't have that excuse, but whatever. Let's recap the happenings, and I shall tell you my feelings as I go. We open basically where we finished in the last issue, with Harley, Ivy, Bud, and Lou heading towards Selina Kyle's, Catwoman. By the way, I love seeing these moments with Bud and Lou. Harley is a great mum. Harley is also impulsive and in love, and Ivy is anxious and alert. The two of them realise Jim Gordon is following them, and they almost kill a cute old sapphic couple. Total accident, blame the cops. Ivy is very apologetic. This scene leads us to the hook of the issue, the biggest bump in the road so far. Harley wants to be with Ivy forever, and happy and honeymoon and be young-ish and in love. Ivy has been having one long panic attack for about 6 months now, and is feeling the pressure of running away with her bridesmaid. These opposing feelings come to a head. Harley pushes too hard, like she was warned about from Harleen in the first issue, and Ivy is a little combative, panicking about things that need to be panicked about when she gets out of Gotham and on her trip, not on her way to it. And okay, I'm not gonna lie, this got me in my feelings, for a few reasons. Like I've said previously, in my last EBK review, in multiple videos at this point, Harley is really desperate for a support system and acceptance, and it's always hard to see her try so hard to create a family around her and be consistently rejected. She refers to Selina as the hyena's auntie, but Selina apparently thinks she sucks, which I'll address that again in a minute. And Ivy, emotionally withdrawn, off the back of the worst day ever, seems almost embarrassed that she has chosen Harley. And like, the thing is, Ivy is kind of embarrassed that she picked Harley, and I get that. We've all been there. It's the same outwardly projected shame that she was exhibiting in season 2. Harley gets too close, Ivy has a gay panic, rinse and repeat. I'm not against this, it's got to come up in the comic in order to be addressed, but I don't like seeing them clash over something I know can and will be sorted quite simply. Play that clip of the Joker.
Just once, I'd like to watch something where two people fall in love and experience no complications whatsoever. Oh, and they don't have sex till they're married.
But for real, it's such a raw emotion, such a uniquely queer one, to be in the place that Ivy is in these comics, and it causes her to place blame on Harley for things that are not really Harley's fault. Harley, yes, has boundary issues. This is not news to anyone, and Ivy knows this. She is particularly triggered by it on this day because of the conversation about boundaries they had at the wedding, because of the wedding, which at the time of this scene was only a few hours ago in canon. That all made sense to me. When Harley talks about growing old with Ivy, Ivy doesn't want to hear it and says something she doesn't really mean, and Harley gets sad. They don't stay in that place and they are not at odds in the moment, but Ivy makes it clear that she isn't ready, rightly so, about 5 hours after her not wedding, to talk about forever. However, and I'm going to be honest here, I don't exactly love the idea that Ivy, and I'm mildly skipping ahead here, sorry, feels like she needs to apologise for Harley's boundary issues, or Harley in general. I mean, don't apologise for your partner, it's not your place. But also, one of my biggest issues, and this is not a T. Franklin issue, do not get me wrong, but rather a DC Comics writing issue, A consistent issue I have with Harley is that she is often a 30-plus-year-old woman who is treated like a 6-year-old girl. Being that she is a bisexual woman with mental health issues, this infantilization can feel very much like a reflection of how many writers expect women like Harley to react, versus how they actually do. When Ivy apologizes for Harley's behaviour, like she is a kid or a pet, kind of makes Harley feel like a kid or a pet. And yeah, I'm just not a fan of it. I've never been a fan of it. I have to be honest about that here. I want to very much address the issue of Ivy's shame and how it affects both her and Harley's lives. Like, it can feel a little mean to incessantly bang on about how Harley has boundary issues and all the changes Harley needs to make when this relationship is a two-way street, and in the show, Harley has actually made a staggering amount of progress in this regard. It was kind of her whole arc of season 2. This is not to chat shit on Ivy, by the way. You all know I will bat for this particular version of Ivy and have done many times on this channel. For Ivy in general, this is an Ivy safe space. I just like balance. My point is, there are some mental health issues that Ivy and Harley need to collectively work on, and I'm excited to be at that point in the story, not this one where they're arguing about it. Anyway, plot be plotting, moving on quickly. I love the fact that Harley hides stuff in her bra. That really is just reality, and I appreciate that representation. Ivy's boob innuendo was also a highlight of the issue. Our Ivy is still in there, she's just a little sad at the moment. And again, I'm going to say this so many times, but Max Sarin's art is actually incredible, and their expressions are like unparalleled. Like, they have so much to say, and they capture the characters so well. Ivy's smirk is perfectly reflected in this art. These panels here are just all so good, Max. So Selena, did she feel a little off to anyone else? I don't want to sound mean or picky, but she was in a particularly pissy mood in these pages, and I get it's been a stressful day, but like, does she actually care about Ivy? Lots of shouting, and as much as I enjoy seeing these cats, this beautiful apartment, the sardonic Pam, etc., I also just didn't love this moment. This moment where, again, Ivy apologises for Harley. I spoke about it earlier, so I won't repeat. But yeah, Auntie Selena versus I wouldn't do shit for Harley kind of makes me sad for our jester. Selena historically doesn't hate Harley. I'll never do anything for you ever again. Like, chill, please. The Sirens are friends, but whatever, it's not my choice and it's not deal breaking. Also, what the fuck was Ivy going to say? Batcat was good. We love Batcat. I have so many Bruce and Selena feelings and have done for decades, so give me my crumbs. I need more Batcat in season 3. There hasn't really been any yet, and I want it. And yes, I know about the going down thing. I'm trying not to address it. Bruce and his bye babes, let me have my fantasies, moving on. Jim Gordon has lost it. He is a totally irredeemable misogynist at this point. It was really uncomfortable listening to him talk about Barbara, his ex-wife, the way he did, whilst he hunted down 2 queer women and maimed and murdered civilians. A cab, of course, but this is quite a character choice. I don't hate it, but I'm definitely acknowledging it. I'm just glad Bruce showed up and did bat stuff, and it was fun to watch Bud and Lou be real good boys. Batman spends so much time placating the very fascist GCPD, so like, it's nice to see him do that for once. Like, stop the police. Anyway, push those agendas like the social justice witch you are, T. You have my support. And fuck Jim Gordon, but thanks to him for these moments of Harley defending Ivy and vice versa. Mistress Harley clenches jaw. Thank you, Miss Franklin. Also read Sunstone if you haven't. Harley and Ivy don't even think about jumping in to help each other. They just do it. Ivy has died for Harley and would do so again. Harley would do the same in return. Very sexy, big fan. And, like, that's the book. The book ends with Selena and the animals escaping one way after Jim Gordon blows up a bunch of civilians, and Harley and Ivy exiting stage left, pursued by a bear. Subscribe for more Shakespeare-based humour. Jim chases Harley and Ivy, tries to kill them again, and is stopped by Batman, almost. Harley and Ivy get away, but Jim, still driving, throws Batman off the hood of his van. Bad cop, wrong, naughty step. Harley and Ivy have escaped Gotham and are finally heading towards their bright and bisexual future. Except like not, because we still have 4 issues of the series left. And thank God, because there is a lot that we need to cover, and I actually really like these comics. I feel like I've been a bit nitpicky, which, this is a review, I need something to talk about, so that can happen, but but I'm actually loving these comics. They're really sweet, they're really queer, and it's so refreshing in the landscape of Harley and Ivy content. Queer women comic book content generally. T. Franklin and Max Sarin are doing a really good job, and damn it, I cannot wait for season 3. I feel like it's been forever since season 2, I'm going a little bit crazy. Teaser trailer at Fandom maybe in a few weeks? I hope so. Please, dear Lord, I pray. Anyway, short and sweet as always. Love you. Mage out.